there. All right, we are live. I just told my guest I don't care about him enough to give him water. So that was the discussion pre-live. But if you are watching, I see a few of you out there from New Jersey. Hilda, what's going on, everybody? Let me know where you're watching from. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, soon to be Happy New Year. Crazy, crazy, crazy how the year has flown. But it's great to see. I see some people coming on right now. So let me know where you're watching from, what part of the world, what part of the country, what part of the United States, what part of Canada, wherever you might be. Drop it down below. Welcome to Gruber Nation Live. Every Friday we go live here in the Gruber Nation studios, although next week I'll be in Las Terrenas, so it'll be a remote feed. I won't be doing it from here.
It's going to be far from me, though.
Yes, it would be. Jeffers Studios is the scene. This is where Eric Jeffers does his stuff. If you want to do a podcast, if you want to do photo, video, anything of the type, you come here to Jeffers Studios. But where is everybody? Papa Penguin Pontificate says, afternoon, y'all. It's good to see you. Hilda, looking like you're coming in from 27 degree New Jersey. What is that in Celsius? 27 degrees.
So times 2 plus 30, 57. Times 2, 27 degrees Fahrenheit to Celsius.
Yeah, that wouldn't be.
So it's minus 30 divided by 2. It's just cold.
Minus 30 divided by, so it'd be -3, -1.5.
Correct.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Look at that. I thought you only knew golf.
I know.
You know, there's a little bit of
It's because when you play golf, you have to know how to calculate. You have to add a lot of strokes.
Ooh, here we got one of your folks here. London, Ontario, Canada.
Oh, yeah. That's south.
You know, I've been through London. They have a pizza place I stopped in once. I'm sure they have many.
Yeah.
But I stopped at one.
Nice.
I was driving to New York from Michigan, from Detroit. So that's where it was.
Yeah. It's on the way through.
Jose Vasquez, Rybrook, New York. Good to see you. Afternoon from Orlando. Is it warm there? Orlando was cold recently. I wonder how it's going there. Jamie, you have camera focus tracker showing. I do have camera focus tracker showing. What is that little box, Eric? There's a little box right there on my screen. Look at that. You see it?
Yeah, I see it.
You want to turn it off?
Let's see it.
Whoa. We're going to get it right, folks. Snowstorm in Toronto right now, says Janet. Excuse me. Looks like the Terminator view. It does, Papa Penguin. I like it. South Jersey. No, that's even worse.
Jesus, that's
I got all this stuff on
There's
screen.
a lot of stats on the screen.
Hey, we're clean. South Jersey, good to see you. Queens was that Eddie Berto? I thought I saw Queens Eddie Berto. Albert Jimenez, good to see you, Albert. We've got a storm there, wherever you are. Greetings from Puerto Rico. Not too far. We can almost throw a rock and hit it.
Definitely swim there. I could see you swimming there.
I could.
Yeah.
I think I could. Afternoon, Jamie from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I've been to Myrtle Beach. Great spot. Frank in Orlando, Florida. Rhode Island. We got you all in. All right. Welcome. We got an interesting topic today. I'm going to share what the topic is about. Before I do that, I'm going to share my guest. Everybody say hi to the only guy in Punta Cana whiter than me. His name has nothing to do with his backstory, because his backstory is more Dominican than Eric, who's Dominican and sitting over there. But Mark Frazier is my favorite Canadian Dominican, or as I like to call him, a Canimican.
Oh, Jesus. That's the way to butcher it. That's the first time I hear that one.
A Canimican or a Canadian.
I like Dominican or a Canadian Dominican.
Why can't we do
Cana Dominicano is the way
Canadian.
we say it. Cana
Right.
Dominicano.
Before we start on this topic, give me the quick 30-second overview of your Dominican life.
Jesus. So Canadian born, raised in the Dominican Republic, spent most of my life here. My wife, my kids are Dominican. I only look Canadian. The way I like to describe it is, back in the day when we used to buy bootlegged DVDs and CDs, and it would have on the cover, it would be one thing. And then when you'd take it out and put in the radio, is something totally different.
Yes.
That's what I am.
That's
so
true.
The DVD cover is a white guy with a beard that looks very Scottish.
Yeah.
And then when you throw in that CD, it's a bachatero.
You're a bootlegged Dominican.
I was called a Temu Dominican the other day.
Temu Dominican. I like that. I mean, his stories like horse rides to the center of town, shining shoes.
Yes.
This guy grew up Dominican. We'll get into that in a little bit. Let's talk about this topic of today and dive in. Then we're going to get Mark's take, get everybody's take, and go from there, because he's got a lot of experience in Latin America. Here's the story, everybody. Per The Guardian. Oh, let me get rid of Rhode Island here. Per The Guardian, gunboat diplomacy on steroids. The U.S. signs security deals across Latin America. This is the article that The Guardian published today, and we're going to dive into it a little bit. I went on, I do all my stuff. I use AI to help me just put everything together quickly. I just said, hey, make a PowerPoint with all the points I want to make here. So it threw this together. I didn't even honestly go through it in detail. It's just going to say a bunch of words, but it's on screen. It keeps me on task, and then we can pop it off screen and talk a little bit as we go along. So here is the big picture. By the way, welcome to all of you. I see Victor from Manchester, Disruptor 444. Ken Dunn 8417 says, hey, Mark. You want to say hey back?
Hey.
Oh, he's the golf guide. Something golf. That's what Danny says. Yes. Yale from Santo Domingo Norte or Yole. Jole? I don't know what that. Anyway.
If it's Santo Domingo Norte, I'm thinking it'd be Yole, like for something short, someone's name, but in short.
Oh, I thought you meant me.
No, not you. Yeah.
Got you. So here's a big picture. The U.S. is reasserting its influence in the Western Hemisphere. Now, this is not like a random thing. I don't think it's emotional. I think it's very strategic. And we're going to talk a little bit about exactly what that means that it's strategic. I have to get another monitor so I can actually pop this stuff down as I'm going. So the core question, how do I, I can do it right here. There we go. Core questions are why now? Why DR? Why is DR part of that, I should say? And why are there cabinet level visits only in the Dominican Republic and not anywhere else? Let's start with that. I'm going to pop this off screen. So here's the deal. Uruguay, Paraguay, Panama, Ecuador, Trinidad, all signed security agreements with the United States recently. Okay. All signed military agreements with the United States. So did the Dominican Republic. We've talked about it on this live. I've done some other videos on it. But the only cabinet member visit that there was Pete Hegseth to the Dominican Republic. Why do you think that is?
I think it's just because the Dominican Republic has been so present in the United States. Like if you look at David Collado, our Minister of Tourism, he is there every other week.
Yeah.
The presence is huge. There's a big Dominican community. Yeah. So there's already that tie there. And 70% of our tourists coming to the island are coming from the United States. So at the end of the day, there's more ties than not. And so I think that's the place you start. Maybe he'll go to another country if he sees the need. But I think the other thing is we're kind of like
the location.
Yeah. We are I don't want to say the gatekeeper, because we're not a gatekeeper in the sense, but we are the stop along the way. We're the next way up from the Caribbean. So it just makes sense to stop here. And we do speak English, and we can speak to him as well. And
True.
So yeah.
No, I feel the same way. The location is definitely strategic.
Yeah.
The drug trafficking, curbing, whatever you want to call it, like the focus on drug trafficking and trying to curb it here has stepped up. It aligns very much with the narrative around it. The narrative around this conflict. We're going to talk a little bit more about the conflict itself.
Okay.
But the narrative itself is around drugs, right? Everybody's drug. Yeah, we'll get into all that.
Well, this country for the longest time has been considered a bridge.
A bridge, yes.
It's not about consumerism here. People are not consuming. It's coming in and it's going to other places. So to the United States, but also to Europe. And it just, over the years, I guess, past administrations have been a little bit more lax. There hasn't been that, I guess, the want to step it up in that sense. And now with the government that's in place, they're making a move on it.
I think you left out, like looking at you, obviously, the drugs also funnel to Canada. We're going to continue moving on with this presentation.
There's some people that would say, what? Yes, I know.
There's going to be a lot of ball busting on this, just so you know.
Jamie loves Canadian.
I do. I love Canadians.
You are almost Canadian.
I love golf.
You lived in Michigan, man.
I lived in Michigan.
You're more Canadian than you are American.
All right. So Monroe Doctrine 2.0. Do Canadians know what the Monroe Doctrine is?
No.
So the Monroe Doctrine was, what is it, James Monroe? Whoever the president was, this is like, I think in the 1800s. He essentially asserted that to Europe, like, hey, look, Western Hemisphere is out of your purview. That's ours.
Okay.
So if you want to, you don't come and mess in the West. You're over there. We're over here. This is our house, essentially, is what Monroe said with the Monroe Doctrine. That's essentially it. That's the most ghetto, like Dog did halftime at one of the games yesterday. So I'm channeling my inner shizzle for dizzle and all that.
Oh, I see it.
Right?
You and him.
So the Monroe Doctrine 2.0 is essentially saying to China, I think this is what this is all about.
Yeah.
Hey, stay out of our hemisphere, because Venezuela is heavily backed by China in many different ways.
Yes, and I think there's other countries where China has a lot of investment, including here.
Infrastructure-wise, absolutely.
Infrastructure-wise, I mean, just when you look at all the stuff that's...
Our guy's asleep at the wheel. Get on him. There.
The infrastructure, the investments, there's a lot of things that are coming in from China. But here, I think we've taken a stand at it where it's kind of like, come in, we'll invest, we'll let you be a part of it, but we're not going to let you control it.
Correct.
So I get where you're saying how it's a stance against them saying this is a no-fly zone, if you want to call it that. Now, do I think it's personally needed? I not necessarily. I don't want to say militarily. Is that how you say it?
Militarily.
But I would say from an economic and investment, there needs to be a stance saying we have, we have our own things. We'll let you be a part of it, but we're still going to be the majority stakeholder and the people that are making the decisions, right? You can 100%. Participate. You're not the chairman of the board.
Correct.
So yeah, I mean, making a stance now against China in that sense.
The U.S. and China do business together. So it's not as if you're going to just like bar China.
Correct.
However, what's happened in the Panama Canal with the U.S. asserting itself more there and not allowing Chinese sort of dominance of the Panama Canal. It's not like an official thing, but unofficially. And then, I mean, I think it's interesting and strategic that Venezuela is in the crosshairs of the U.S. And it's all these things I mentioned on screen here: supply chains, shipping lanes, semiconductors, energy, migration, security, and so on. Yeah. And China, here's the thing. I put on this slide, China's quiet expansion. Here's the thing. Like the U.S. is always going to get the colonizer label whenever they assert themselves elsewhere. It doesn't always go well. Yeah. We'll just say, right? Yeah. But I think there's I saw a guy somebody did a reel earlier today. I saw them talking about like when certain places that are Chinese run pop up down here, there's no like colonizer claim or like, whatever. But when the U.S. does, you bring Apple. Oh, that's what it was. It was Jay. You bring Applebee's to Santo Domingo, like, colonizer. It's like, but what about all the pica pollos that are run in many cases by the Chinese and some other, like these big Chinese stores and everything else, right? Yeah. So here's the reality of the world. And I've talked about this on other lives. And those of you that are out there, drop it in the comments and I'll get your thoughts here, Mark. But the reality in the world is that the superpower, whoever that superpower is, will assert itself. There will be a superpower that asserts itself. And China has done that over the last 20 years, just quietly. They don't go out there and bomb and kill the Libyan president. They don't go out there and take out, Afghanistan. They don't do these loud crash bang things. Correct. But they buy land. They buy influence. They create debt for countries that owe them, right? They do it in a different way. So what I see of this right now is the U.S. is essentially saying in their way, and they have the loudest of loud presidents now. On top of being loud, they got the loudest of loud presidents. He's saying, look, Venezuela with drugs, sure. I mean, there's some drugs that come out of Venezuela, but there's more out of Colombia. There's more out of Mexico.
100%.
Right? Yeah. So with drugs, we have to assert ourselves there. It's like, no, you're trying to tell China, signaling to China, we're not letting you be the power in this hemisphere anymore.
Now,
your take.
Well, my take is, do we need to, or does the United States or the presidency need to state it that way? Or would the smart thing be just go into those countries and start investing and start doing it, beat them at their game? Let's not play chess and checkers. Let's play chess, but let's do it better.
Sure.
So go into these countries that need, funding, that need education, and don't indoctrinate them, but go in there and say, okay, how can we support you? And by the support, we become better allies. And so when you need funding for schools, for roads, for whatever infrastructure, who are you going to ask? You're going to ask the United States. You're not going to ask China. You're not going to let them come in because the better business partner. So don't go at it with brute force. Go at it with the same type of.
Fair point. The United States traditionally has a requirement that you abide by what we are. Yeah. We're a capitalist society. We have democracy as our guiding principle. We're a republic. You do those things and we'll be your friend, but you got to do those things to be your friend. China doesn't do that. China just says, no, we'll control you with debt.
Yeah, they don't care.
Debt. Correct. They're not necessarily imposing themselves on you. Necessarily.
Yeah, no, they're not necessarily, like you say, imposing, but they're doing things the quiet way. And sometimes the quietest voice is the loudest in the room.
Well, then the scary part is they could flip a switch.
100%.
Right?
And if they decide to collect on that debt tomorrow,
let's not talk about that at Christmas.
Not get into
it's
that
Christmas.
We're giving, not taking, right?
All right, let's keep rolling through this. So Panama Canal, I'd already talked about. What else did we put here? Security agreements across the. So yeah, I mentioned DR, Paraguay, Peru. Peru signed an agreement with them. Ecuador, Caribbean partners, gives them legal access and presence. Did I add anything else on why Venezuela matters? I talked about this. Energy leverage. It's a China-backed regime, regional destabilization risk, and a strategic focus. It's funny. And I put this drugs versus reality. Drugs is the public justification. I think China is the strategic driver, but it's great. It's a power competition.
100%.
It's a power play in the end, and that's what's happening in the region right now. That's at least what I think. Did I add another slide? Oh, why the U.S.? Oh, here I put why the U.S. shows up so loudly. I put all these thoughts in, and then it just spits it out, right? Visibility matters. Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that. Reassurance to allies, deterrence to rivals, and the optics equal the strategy. That is a very U.S. way of looking at it in that way, right? I'm not saying it's right, but that's the U.S.'s way of looking at it.
Yeah.
Hey, we have to show up and show the strength and call it wave the flag, the whole thing. That's a very U.S. thing. So that all makes sense to me in that regard. Final takeaway: the world. I said this. The world always serves a superpower. Always. China expanded quietly. The U.S. is responding loudly.
Yeah.
And the least imperfect option will win. So my whole take is, and I said this last week or the week before, that if I had to choose which master to serve, and you will, when Rome was the emperor, the conquering country, when Greek, when Persians, right? Like somebody will dominate the world. I would much rather that imperfect dominance be from the United States than I would from China. That's my hot take. What about you?
I would say yes to that, but not the current.
You want Canada to serve.
No.
You want Canada to take over.
Canada has a Peace Corps. Like we have an army, but it's a Peace Corps, right? We don't do dominance that way.
But it's your home and native land.
Yeah, I know. We dominate hockey, poutine, golf.
You say poutine?
Poutine.
I guess that's a French thing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So it's poutine. But we dominate in golf as well. We dominate in so many other things. Not world dominance. I think we're the friendly face anywhere we go. People love Canadians because they just seem always friendly. But I think that the United States, obviously, size, population, location, all those things make it the superpower that it is. But I don't think in the long run, I don't necessarily have your take. If I look at beyond 3 years, I think there's another power play that has nothing to do with just asserting.
What is the power play?
The power play is to stay in power.
Who? China?
No.
U.S.
No. U.S. presidency.
The U.S. You think Trump decides
I think
to stay
it's
in
a
power.
play that if you push enough around the region to create a destabilization, you have an answer, you have a reason to stay in power, and you can enact I don't know what article, but you can stay in.
What do they call that? There's a way.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it just, if you create enough destabilization, you could stay in power for a longer time without needing to go to the polls and that kind of thing.
Martial law. That's what
there you go. So I think there's a little bit of that as well.
It's a very Canadian take. See, my take on it. He has, and look, I'm a center right guy, right? So I'm more conservative than I am liberal. Yeah. And he is not, I think once or twice he said it like tongue in cheek that no, obviously I can't be around for a third term, but generally he is not like poo-pooed that.
Correct.
Which has been concerning for a lot.
Yep.
My only hope is I think that there is enough of a MAGA base that is fighting him on what's happening with ICE. There are people that are actually going like, whoa, look, dude, we agree with criminal. We understand that criminal is if you entered the country 30 years ago without papers, but you're here, you're paying taxes, you had a DWI in 02, and we're treating you like the Tren de Agua gangster. Like, I think there's enough pushback from MAGA that tells me that an attempt for a third term or a push for a third term wouldn't end well.
We've been surprised before.
True.
So I wouldn't take it off the table.
This is why we do this hot takes from a hot man.
And it's funny because we are, you're center right, I'm center left, being Canadian. That's the way we are.
True.
But center is what
100%
where we are, right?
Here especially in this country,
100%.
One of my talking points always is there is political debate. It doesn't become personal.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, there's always an exception, but you get my point.
There is, but we can disagree, agree on a ton, and the things that we disagree on don't make us enemies.
Correct.
So
correct.
That's the way
exactly.
we are here.
Exactly. So we'll see what happens with that.
We will.
Ken Dunn is your biggest fan. What did he say?
Hey, Ken. How's it going?
Ken Dunn said, agree with Mark here, although I lost it. All right, here. Ken Dunn says, agree with Mark on this. So Ken Dunn, we are going to dub you super fan of Mark Frazier. Mark Frazier, super fan. You'll get the t-shirt soon, which is
I used to have the Golf Nation t-shirts back.
All it is it's a half shirt. It goes to here, and then your belly hangs out underneath. That's the Mark Frazier t-shirt. Even Eric's shaking his head. The poor guy.
It's because he's getting a visual of this right now. I'm sitting in the studio with him, and he's already got a mental image of that, and he doesn't like what he sees, which I agree with. What can I say?
Funny. That's too funny.
Man.
Let's see. Yaniedes is saying he said it about 1,000 times. He said both, Yaniedes. I don't know which one you're saying. I've heard him say, obviously I can't go for a third term, but he says that quietly, and then the media doesn't highlight that, right?
No.
They highlight when he's saying,
Correct.
maybe they want me back. Who knows? So it does. It creates a concern for a lot of people.
Is that your impression of Donald Trump?
No, my impression would be like,
Oh boy.
it's the gray room. There's a lot of flowers over there. You can't see him on screen. Oh, there's some behind me. That'll be my Trump impression. So.
That impression actually makes you sound like Bob Kennedy Jr. What's his name? Robert?
It doesn't.
Yeah,
like,
it's scratchy at the voice.
Yeah.
Terrible. This is not a room to be doing impressions in.
Ken Dunn is excited for his shirt.
Oh, there you go. Well, Ken, we'll make sure it happens. It's actually going to be very cheap because there's really not a lot of material in it.
If you get on me, Eric, real quick, I'll show you. Right here, it says Mark over one nipple, Frazier over the other, and then a golf ball that protrudes down to this area around your diaphragm, and it dangles. There's two of them. They just dangle. That is the Mark Frazier shirt. He wears it all over the place. I see him around whenever he's entertaining clients.
Correct. Yeah.
That's what he does.
Absolutely.
Mark Frazier t-shirt.
Jesus. Oh, Jamie. There's going to be a meme. There's definitely going to be.
That's funny. Speaking of, I'm going to go through some of these comments.
Yeah, I want to hear
them. Can you give a real quick take on, like, just you, like, you know, like people want to meet you. You do golf here. Like, go ahead.
Yeah, so I do work in golf. My role is to get more people coming down and play golf in this country. Specifically, at Grupo Punta Cana, we have 2 golf courses in Punta Cana Resort, La Cana and Corales, World Championship golf courses, spectacular bucket list type of golf. And so that's my role, is to get people down to play our golf courses, stay at our resort, which is kind of my bread and butter. It's getting people to, because there's a lot of people that play Corales and La Cana, they stay at other resorts, but we want them to come and experience the way we do hospitality at Punta Cana Resort. So that's my role here. And then as a just as a human being in Punta Cana, I mean, I've been here for many years. I got to see this place grow. So, and I'm probably the most passionate person you'll hear about the Dominican Republic. I know you're the biggest
I'm a
promoter,
right?
But passionate, like I can get into it with anybody.
Well, look, you've introduced me to Sergio Carlo.
Yeah,
that's how I met Sergio Carlo.
That's correct. Yeah.
You've given me all the insights on North Shore life. You've given me all the insights on the expansion that you've seen in this area, going from here into Santo Domingo. Like, not just the fact that it happened, but like the insides, the little here's and there's. I mean, you used to dance on stage. What were you? You were a fluffer or something?
An animator.
Animator.
They call an animator or sports and recreation team.
What's the Spanish animator? Like,
Animador.
No, but why is it called an animator?
Because you animate, you give life to a resort.
So you were the guy like up there, like shimmying like this.
I did that.
Shimmy.
I was a Backstreet Boy when I had hair.
You were. Yes.
I was. Yes. But yeah, I used to dance on stage. I used to sing on stage. I was a DJ. So I've done it all. I've been through it all. But I mean, anything in the hotel industry, I've pretty much done.
I see some other comments on the topic, but I like this one here. Can you guys at least say que lo que or coño once on air, since you were living in the Dominican Republic? I mean, listen, I don't, can you go wide again, Eric, for both of us? I want to be really clear that who you're looking at right here, I don't mean to, like, this guy, many people that follow, like, they might have been like born in DR and moved to the States 3, 4, 5, 8 years old.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then there's the opposite that happens very infrequently, which is Mark, who moved from Canada to Puerto Plata.
Yeah, when I was 5.
So if you want to drop a few like one-liners in Dominican Spanish.
The one-liners is not even going to give you a taste, because podemos hacer esto en español y esto va a ser dominicano puro. O sea, podemos ir por esa vía. Jamie, tú sabes que habla español, así que lo podemos hacer de esa forma.
Yes.
So it's funny because when people ask to say like the que lo que and that kind of stuff, I get the opposite. Sometimes I'll walk up to somebody and I start speaking to them in Spanish, and I've actually been stopped before, and they're like, I need you to start again, because I felt like I was watching a movie that had like a voiceover. Yeah. Because it's not you speaking. I see this, but it's not you speaking. So I get that quite often, because I mean, I also get asked like, what language do I dream in? I'm like, I just dream. I mean, there is no distinction. I don't go to bed at night saying, tonight I'm going to dream in Spanish or English.
You're on me. I love you. I love that you're on me, but like, you know,
It's because you're a good-looking guy. You're a good-looking
I
guy.
don't even know who I'm talking to. I think Eric, did you have too much turkey yesterday? Did you have like?
No, he didn't have turkey. He had
Go wide.
ponlo al lodo. He didn't have turkey. He had pierna de cerdo with a little bit of moro, ensalada de papa. We call it ensalada rusa.
So did we?
Yeah, that's what you had as well.
All
Yeah.
of it. Yeah. Plus yuca.
The day before yesterday.
Christmas Eve.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's because I'm thinking we're 20. Yeah, no, we do that too. No.
He
We do it on
traveled
the 24th.
yesterday. Yeah, he drove here.
Yeah,
back. We did. No,
24th.
No, Christmas Eve.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's because I'm all out of it. I thought today was the 25th. Calentao is the better meal of the Christmas meals.
Because it's the leftovers.
It's the leftovers.
we
It's
did.
the one that
Oh,
they
it's so much.
it gets in, like all the seasonings get into the meat and
Yes.
everything takes the flavor on.
The
Amazing.
pernil was like 40% better yesterday
Correct.
than it was on the 24th when it was
So
fresh.
if we're think ahead to next year, order the food or make the food
23rd.
on the 23rd.
Yeah.
Don't do it on the 24th. That way you're actually eating like a really delicious.
Dude, my wife spent like, I think it was like $400 on food.
Holy
Yeah.
cow.
Just for us. So for like the next 6 days, I mean,
You're gonna have enough for the 31st.
I've got
It's gonna
enough-
be really good.
Our housekeeper was with us. That was the only other person. It was 5 of us, and then my mother-in-law just got here yesterday.
Okay.
She had leftovers with us, and
Beautiful. She loved it.
still,
Yeah. Okay.
still.
So I know where I'm
leftovers.
going after this.
Yes, we have plenty of food. It's ridiculous.
I'll be stopping over there.
We got this from Mabel, the hairless duo giving it all. Just a tiny
Oh,
joke.
boy.
There's a lot of innuendo in there. It's just a tiny joke. Is that a height joke, Mabel? Huh? That's what you're trying to say? He's a little taller than you.
Yeah, a little bit.
But we are hairless. Well, you,
We are.
you got this going on. though.
If I didn't, I would look like a bowling ball or a golf ball. That's why I did that.
Let's see
What do we
else
got?
here. Let's see. Steve Bannon stated, this is Yanidis,
Oh wow.
that if Republicans lose key future elections, specifically the 2026 midterms and the 2028 presidential election, some people in the room, including himself, are going to prison. Probably. Bannon, I'm not. Bannon, like being, here's the thing with U.S. politics, right?
Yeah.
If you identify center right, like I said I did,
Yeah.
then in the U.S., no matter what you are, if you're Dominican American, Canadian American, any American, you get checkbox. This is what I hate
Got you.
about U.S. politics. You get checkbox that anything that identifies right is what
Is
you
extreme.
It's you. It's you. No,
Yeah.
no, like you're just associated with
Oh,
it, right?
okay. Wow.
So like if I say center right, I must have voted for Trump. If I say center right, I must be Steve Bannon. And not that this
Correct.
person is saying that, but my point is like the idea that Steve Bannon said something holds this much weight with me.
Yeah.
In terms of the overall. When Trump or Vance, yeah, that holds a lot more weight with me if they're talking about a third term or expansion power and all of that good stuff.
What do they call it in court? It's hearsay,
Hearsay,
right?
Correct.
And it's not admissible in court.
Well, more than that, I just like to be analytical. Here's a great example. And actually, let's pivot to this real quick. The
Yeah.
bond reservist stuff. What happened with bond reservists over the last
Bond
week,
reservas, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So if you're not familiar,
Bond reservas or the Senasa thing?
no, Senasa's
Yeah. Okay.
legit.
Bond reservas.
That's happened, right?
Yes.
Bond reservist has like this cloud around it. So if you weren't in the news on this, right? Like there was video that came out and there was an economist allegedly that said that there is el hoyo, right? Like a hole
Yep.
in the bond reservist system. That might be true. But the problem is the economist didn't say that they said that. And all the videos were AI. But here especially, and this is a DR thing, not even an American thing, like gossip is truth. Instant, right? Like
Oh, yeah.
gossip becomes truth. Like, oh, did you hear about bond reserves is going down? It's going to be a 2008
Oh, yeah.
style crash. What was the bank that crashed in 08?
Ban Inter.
That one.
Yep.
Right? It's going to be all of that. It's happening. Oh my God. Holy, I was at the beach and one of our friends was like, you see, this is going down. I'm like, whoa. I've had enough in my 3.5 years, you with your whole life, but I'm
Yep.
sure my 3.5 years to know that you need to wait a beat
Yes.
before you jump in and
100%.
agree that, oh, okay, that's what happened. And again, my friend was like, no, it's right here. Let me show you. I'm like, something's weird. Like that would be
Yeah.
everywhere if that was
100%.
real. You know what I mean?
100%.
So I get a little leery with that. So I like analysis over emotion. So the bond reservist thing, if you just to kind of close that loop, there have been complaints about not being able to get deposits. There are.
Mhm.
Somebody said, what about the thousands of complaints? Like, is it thousands of complaints or have a dozen people made a lot of content? Right?
True.
Like, it's like
100%.
we gotta like on bond reservists, on all the tamp it down. Sanasa, on the other hand,
That's a whole.
Legit.
I have doctors in the family
yes.
that know people.
And I think there's
in this
more to
role.
what we've even seen. What is it? 15 billion pesos was the last I saw.
Wait, let's wait.
More?
I don't know, but
Right.
let's wait. Let's
15
wait. There's
you know-
going to be a lot.
You know how much 15 billion pesos
That's
is in
a
US
heck
dollars?
of a lot of money.
It's a $250 million US dollars.
That's a lot.
In a country this size, that is huge.
Oh yeah, and even over above the financial, which is just ginormous. I'd say over and above that,
Yeah.
the human toll
Yes.
that it is taken.
Yes.
Unfortunately, their faces are not in the media. You don't hear about them enough. But that's the biggest toll that I think that we're not even talking about yet.
My take on
yeah,
my take on Sanasa, I'd love to get yours. My take on Sanasa is that, like, again, analytics over emotion. It's a bad thing. It's a corruption scandal, just like Odebrecht, just like any other corruption scandal. You got a president who is committed to being anti-corruption, right? He's committed. That's part of his platform. You can't deny that he is. That's what he wants to do.
Yep.
You also can't deny that there have been more, what's the word? Prosecutions, I guess, or I guess prosecutions of corruption, and that's a fact. You can go and look at the data. In the Abinader administration, there have been more prosecutions of corruption than there have in previous administrations. Actually, to some extent, like combined over a period of time. I don't know the exact numbers, but more. However, the issue has been, I think, and the issue I think in this, and the real litmus test with Sanasa is you can be found to be corrupt. But if you're not convicted and placed in prison, if you're not stigmatized, if there's not like a major deterrent, like you're going to go away for 10 years over corruption.
Well, that's the thing.
That's the opportunity.
You know
in front
what
of
the
Abinader.
maximum penalty is?
It's like 1.5 years.
It's 2 years.
2 years. Yeah.
2 years. Do you know what the maximum fine is?
No.
20,000 pesos.
Come on.
Kid you not.
Crazy.
2 years, 20,000 pesos. So until that changes, there's not going to be it's not a deterrent.
Do you see, and this is an honest question because I don't know, do you see Sanasa, let me get rid of this comment real quick. Do you see Sanasa being one in which there is some change to sentencing guidelines? Potentially.
I don't know if I can see it, but I hope it is.
Is it big enough?
I hope it is. But the thing is, when I look at things that have gone on, like, let's say the jet set thing.
Yes.
Have things changed?
To an extent.
A little bit.
Construction guidelines have changed. There's a major construction
but there's still no
delay.
And I know it's still in the courts.
Oh, but the sentencing thing, no. Correct.
That's the thing.
Yep.
Like one of those things. I was having this conversation with a cousin of mine who's a doctor. I say a cousin of mine, my wife cousin, but we've been together for 25 years, so he's my cousin. We were talking about this, and he's like, "Yeah, but the whole jet set thing, it was an accident." And I said, "Okay, so look at it this way: you get in your car that has faulty brakes, but you're going to put that off until you can, you want to go and get them fixed. Your tires are completely slick, but you'll take care of that at some point. You decide to drive over the speed limit at 140 and you get into a terrible accident and kill a bunch of people. Is that an accident or are you at fault?"
Right.
That's the way I see it.
Yeah, that's a great point.
So he was saying, the whole jet set thing was an accident. I said, well, no, the brakes were shot. The tires were still inflated, but the tires were slick.
I mean,
that's the way I look at it.
It was an accident, quote unquote.
Yes,
it wasn't like somebody said,
100%.
"Hey, blow the roof now."
Correct.
However, to your point, I mean, when you look at at least what I've seen, what I've seen is you remove a pillar, no inspection to do so. That's a weight bearing, and then you load up the roof with air conditioners, storage units, all of that. And then, you've got some. And
then you push it to 140 kilometers an hour on the highway, which is jam-packed the place for a concert.
And vibrate it with speakers.
So that's the way I look at it. So a lot of things need to change. I mean, I don't want to. When I say that, I don't mean I want to come in and change things personally. I mean, things need to change as a society. We need to do better. But it's not me saying I need to come in and we need to change things. I just want to make sure that.
No. Same.
You know what I mean?
I get asked that question, like, what do you come here with the idea that you want to change some things? Like, people ask that legitimately. Like, no, it's not I'm a guest, right? You're more a whatever.
Yeah, I've been here all my life. I've stood in line to vote with my wife. I haven't naturalized myself, but I'm going to be doing that this year to become a Dominican citizen. But I've stood in line every year that she could vote, that she's been able to vote. Because we've been together since she's 18. So I've gone and did the lines at the university where she would vote. So got the finger with the purple ink. So I've done it all, and I've been here so long that I think I have a right.
You do. I don't believe I do. I don't know that I ever will. Other than my only pushback, because I get a lot of pushback. I'm like, oh, you're not supposed to. You're a guest. It's like, yeah, but you understand. Like, I really think this is different. I think you'll agree with me that if you're gonna choose, as I did, like the people who criticize me about having an opinion on jet set or whatever, don't have kids. I'm raising my kids here.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's not about like I want things to be better or different because I'm this, gringo who wants to
I'm coming to colonize a place.
Correct. Yeah. It's like, no, but if I want my kids to have a future and not have to go elsewhere, like I love being here. I love living here. Right. I think that gives me, the ability to at least have commentary on this stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like
100% it does.
I'm not going to run for office. I'm not going to be like, that's not, if any change I want to make, it's like, there's too much negative press around this place sometimes that doesn't deserve it. And if I can be a voice to help people see the beauty of this country, that's what I want to do. But that also comes with, hey, look, on Jet Set, on Sanasa, like
whatever it is. Yeah.
I want an opinion on these.
We're all allowed to have an opinion. I mean, as long as you get informed.
Correct.
And that's if you do your homework, you can have an opinion. It doesn't matter where you're from, or I think we all have that. We all have that right. The thing you say about like you want your kids to grow up here, and I think the ultimate goal is to have your kids grow up here and want to stay here, to go to university, and build their family.
Correct.
Because to me, that's the ultimate best case scenario in my life, is that my kids love it so much here that they want to stay here and they don't want to go and look for a better life elsewhere.
Yep.
There was a point in time, I want to say about 5 or 6 years ago, there was a lot of talent that was leaving to live elsewhere,
right?
Be it Europe, Spain, the United States, and all those people, they all had great voices. What I mean by that is they didn't sound good.
Yeah.
They had like thoughts, and they were vocal in talent, right?
Yeah.
And they were leaving, and I was living in Canada at the time, and my reflection was, if all of the good people, all of the people that kind of hold politicians' feet to the fire, that ignite good discussion, all those people were to leave, what are you leaving the country with?
100%.
And it's one of the reasons I could not wait to get back here.
Yep.
I wanted to be that person that was part of the continuing growth of the country. I didn't want to show up after everything was all said and done because it was all shiny and good and great. I wanted to be a part of that process.
So to be clear, just the timeline of your story, you grew up here from the age of 5 to what age?
Yeah. So I was here from 5 to 12.
5 to 12.
And then I went back to Canada, but I was here 5 times a year because my mom stayed.
Yep.
And then at 16, I graduated from high school, got home, dropped off my what I call it, a pack sack. I don't know what you guys call it. Backpack. Yeah. We call it pack sack in Canada. It's kind of weird.
Backwards.
Yeah. And so I dropped that, pick up my suitcase, came back at 16, and then I didn't go back to Canada for 7 years.
Right.
And then I stayed here. My wife and I, we had kids, first 2 kids, and then we moved back to Canada in 2012. Island fever.
Yep.
We had a business here. It was a different time. 2012, it was still developing. I mean, when we first got married, there was no cell phones, and we were going to rent movies to watch at home because there was no cable. And then so we were there, but we'd come back again 5 times a year. My kids would spend their entire summers here.
Mm-hmm.
I would drop them off at the end of June and pick them up at the end of August. Mm-hmm. They would stay with the grandparents in Santo Domingo. And then 2.5 years ago, almost 3 now, we decided, okay, that's it. We need to move back. We're going home. Mm-hmm. And so we've been here for almost 3 years now.
Kids seem to love it.
My kids do love it. Yeah. They've created a community for themselves. Yeah. They've grown up to be independent, but at the same time in a place where they can be independent and not be afraid. I mean, I think it's the best decision we've ever made in our lives, is to get that perspective and come back. I'm just looking at some of the comments here. They want to pop up.
But the point about keeping the kids here, that's what I'm saying, right? Like at 18, if my kids are like, great, I graduated, cool, yay, I'm out. Now what do I do? Like, I don't have opportunity here. I want to go elsewhere. Like, that to me doesn't mean they can go to Europe, go wherever you want to go. But I want it to be like a choice.
Correct.
I don't want it to feel like they have to.
Yes.
So that's my interest in having an opinion on some of these topics. It's not, I just, I know better because I'm from America and I want to impose my white brain on this place.
Totally with you there.
Right? Like, that's the thing. I think that's a differentiator. If you're a parent raising your kids here, I think that gives you the right to have an opinion on it.
I agree.
So, Here we go. We have
We got some comments. Let's
Mabel
hear 'em.
says he sounds more Dominican than me in Spanish. De F-U-Q. De Fook, we'll say. So
got it.
YouTube doesn't ban the video. That was Mabel. Mabel, I think, right? Yeah, Mabel RD 08. Very cool.
It would be Mabel.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
I'm Americanizing. Let's see what we got here. Dag, guys, didn't have Sancocho yesterday or Noche Buena. Did you?
No, Sancocho's not a. It's not a Christmas thing.
No, I don't.
It's not a 31st of December thing.
No.
Sancocho is rainy days.
Okay.
Sancocho.
I have my Sancocho day. I want to. Yeah, I want to hear if you hit
Usually it's rainy days or hangover days.
it. Yeah, I was gonna say.
100%.
Like if I need to absorb a bad night,
Correct.
like I eat Sancocho.
Yeah. And here, like when they do weddings and they do parties and stuff, they'll serve Sancocho after midnight, like a late night snack. And it's kind of to lessen the effects of the alcohol you've ingested before you go home.
Right.
But yeah, Sancocho is a rainy day type thing. It's not for, there's a standard meal, and it's you'll have moro, which is your rice and beans, and you cook the beans inside the rice. It's not the saucy on top of the white rice. And then you have your pernil or cerdo. You'll have ensalada rusa, and there's a ton of debates on how you should make it. Do you want to add carrots? Don't add carrots. Do you add peas? No peas. Apples? No apples. It's a weird thing.
I like it with apples. My wife's uncle does it with apples.
I
don't like it with apples?
No. Me, it's
I
just
like
the potatoes, the potatoes with the carrots, the mayonnaise, and the eggs,
Beets.
and then
Gotta have beets.
no.
You don't do the beets?
No. So what we do is we take the onions, chop them up, the red onions, the purple ones,
Yeah.
chop them up, put them in vinegar, let them get like the vinegar gets like a purplish.
Yeah.
And then when you don't add it until you're ready to serve it, throw that on top. It gives a nice tangy taste. So yeah, and then you have your green salad and pastel en hoja. Pastel en hoja has to be there. I don't like the pastel en hoja with the raisins though. Oh man, that's the way to ruin a pastel en hoja.
Yeah.
It's a way to ruin it.
I don't think it ruins
Oh
it.
no. It's because to
I
me
can see that
it
the
becomes a scavenger hunt inside of my pastel en hoja, and I can't enjoy it. I just want to get in and try it, but now I have to remove the little raisins. Same thing with pastelitos. Don't put raisins in pastelitos because then you just ruin it for me.
Have you ever had raisins and pastelitos?
Yeah.
The Dominicans don't do that.
Yes, they do.
No.
He's saying.
Real Dominicans don't.
Venezuela?
Yeah, from Venezuela. So they get that kind of mixed and options to do that with the pastel.
That's another reason Trump is attacking them.
The raisins?
The raisins.
No, but with Dominican, like 100. Like,
Depends where you're from, my friend Eric. I'm telling you, there's places where they throw them in there, man.
All right,
Terrible.
hold on. We're going to go
Now,
back
if you go to San Pedro, they don't put the raisins in the pastel en hoja. When you go to the Amable,
He's San Pedro.
okay, it's because he knows what I'm talking about. Amable, best pastelito, right?
That's the real place.
It's because it's the only place. No. Even people in Santo Domingo know that Amable is the best. Now, but they did they close? I think Amable passed away, and I don't know if he's still open. But yeah, the best pastel en hoja. Yeah. Best pastel en hoja. It's like going to Montreal and going to like Saint Viateur or Bagel, or there's
All right.
things. Yeah.
You got to show me. R. Pena says he is fully Dominicanized. That's him over there. Let's see. Oop, I just had one. Where did it go? Janietis says at Mabel, as you said, don't feel bad. He sounds more Dominican than me too. So your cred is high, my friend. Your Dominican credibility is high. We got this comment from Richard who says, I'm also a gringo with Dominican wife and have a condo built in 18 months. We're told, huh?
No, I'm talking to.
We're told, fingers crossed, 18 months, but I've seen all your videos and everything is 18 months old. Is 18 months, LOL. That's true, Richard. I said this before on building, on construction. Construction permits are delayed, environmental permits are delayed, everything's delayed. And therefore, it doesn't mean that you should just like accept that as an excuse because there's permit management.
Mhm.
But if somebody's selling you a project today that they don't have the environmental permit for yet, they could be in process of getting it and tell you they're going to be done in 2 years. I would
Highly doubt.
highly doubt that.
Yeah.
Might not be a bad project to buy still, but just say, great, tell me 2 years. I know you got to sell me. And make it 4 in your mind.
Yeah.
Save yourself the stress. It's going to take double the time if they
I
don't
agree
have
with
the
that.
environmental permit. What else we got here? One of the things I love most about DR, this is Papa Penguin pontificate. So he's about to pontificate right now.
Wow.
He always pontificates.
Love it.
One of the things I love most about DR is when I'm there, I don't have to hear about American politics. I just get to exist. It's so true.
Yeah.
It's so true. Like here's what I'll say. There's definitely discussion about American politics,
But it
it's
doesn't rule the conversation.
correct. It's one of two things. It's either like they're out of their mind, like that's one, or it is exactly a discussion on a topic. on a topic.
It's not the full spectrum. It doesn't go in and then through it. No,
like I said with this person earlier, and again, not that they were saying that, but like, you know, when you admit to being more conservative, or if you admit to being liberal, either way, then you are absolutely bucketed as all right or all left. It's like down the line right, down the line left. I think I did that with the opposite hands, but you get my point. Like if you agree with one thing Trump says, then you're a Trumper, you're a MAGA, you're all right. If you agree with one thing that, you know, Biden or AOC says, then you're a left-wing socialist Democrat, you love Mamdani, whatever it might be. Yeah. That's American. That's Canadian politics too.
Now it is.
Right.
It wasn't like that.
Filtered across the border.
Yeah, it's filtered in many places in the world. I think that because of social media, and I'm all for social media, so don't get me wrong, but the thing is, we tend to use our outer voice a lot more on social media because we feel embraved, we feel emboldened to do it, and then that translator trickles into real life in a sense. So you can say the quiet parts out loud, and then you say it over and over again, and then it kind of rules the way you interact with people, and then it becomes just very extreme. You can still go swimming without having to go into the deep end.
I'm going to get a little controversial on this next point. This is from Raf M, who says, Jamie, anything center or even a little left has historically been branded far left in the U.S. Red scare anyone. Here's my fair, but here's my counter to that when it comes to far left. I think we can agree that there's like, here's the different avatar, right? Many far right people are very much like, get off my lawn, right? Like that's kind of the mindset of the far right person. Like, leave me alone. I got my gun.
Yes.
Far left people are loud. They're loud, right? The far left. So when you've got the far left screaming at everybody about their lack of tolerance, you kind of do it to yourself on the left, in my opinion. I'm not saying all lefties deserve to be branded as far left. I don't think all righties deserve to be branded as far right. But what I'm saying is like the real far right are in the freaking Appalachians, like buried in a mountain with their gun.
Not anymore, though.
Well,
they used to be.
Who? Give me a name.
Used to be. Now
like Nick Fuentes, like I don't even know what the hell he is. But
they're coming out a little bit more because they're emboldened to. Because now they can come to the city center where they didn't feel welcomed. Now they have the door open where they're like, come out of the woodwork you're talking about. And now you have a place because what you're going to say is going to be accepted or tolerated.
I'm going to push back on that a little bit too. Here, Eric, back to me real quick so I can be controversial. So I think that much of the far left went aggressively against a topic that has emboldened a far right narrative and made big voices out of it. I'm thinking about Charlie Kirk. I'm thinking about Jordan Peterson. I'm thinking about Nick Fuentes. I'm thinking about Andrew Tate. And that is the attack on masculinity. The left, the far left, got so aggressively anti-masculine. Everything was toxic masculinity. So the rise on the right was this sort of counterbalance because young men especially feel like I'm bad, I'm evil because I have like ambition or I want to be a provider or I want to open the door for a lady and I'm somehow this evil individual. So I think it gave rise on the far right to the topic of masculinity to the point where if you were to listen to some of like, I think of Andrew Tate, if you get past the bluster, every so often he makes a point. It's like a valid masculinity point. However, his whole aura, his whole thing, just no bueno, in my opinion. That's my take.
No, I agree with that. I mean, I would not want my kid dating an Andrew Tate.
Correct.
Right. So
I wouldn't want my daughter if I had one dating Andrew Tate. Exactly.
Oh, hell no.
But I do want my sons to embrace masculinity.
I agree with that. And that's the thing. I think we all share that. But it's the few voices and very few topics that are ruling the scenario right now. Because if we go back to here where most of us are, and I say most people that I speak with who are saying, oh, I feel more right or I feel more left. Okay, well, let's just name a few things. And they're like, oh yeah, we agree on that. We agree on that. We agree on this. We agree on this. Okay, perfect. Now, what about this? Oh no, we don't agree on that. Okay, so does that one thing just trump everything else? For lack of a better word. No, right. But that's the thing that is causing that right now. And I think we don't need to, that doesn't need to equate the same amount of things that we agree on.
Correct.
right? So,
Yep. No, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm going through some of these comments here. This
Cool.
one's completely off topic. I can't believe you guys didn't mention pernil or sancocho. We did mention pernil.
I did.
I had pernil. You had pernil.
Well, we had pierna de cerdo.
Okay. We had pernil.
So I had pernil the night before at the village, and then we had pierna de cerdo. We do pierna de cerdo at
The village. What'd you do at the village?
the aguinaldo.
Oh, that wasn't the night before. That was the 19th.
It all feels the same. It's a blur, man. It's a blur.
Like you, yeah.
He's like, I wasn't invited
It
to
is,
that
dude.
one.
Like we were talking to my
Oh.
mother-in-law yesterday because she's thinking about moving back down here, and she's like maybe doing half the year. And we were like, listen, in Punta Cana specifically, like starting in November, everything pops off. You had the bazaar, you had the village party, you had the aguinaldo, the Christmas tree lighting, all of that stuff happens starting in November.
Yeah, end of October to
Now
is when Christmas starts.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So it gets popping. It does. It's the time of the year when I'm the tiredest because there's just something going on.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Let's see. Looking for more comments on here.
What do you got? We got
another right wing, left wing. Let's go.
Oh.
There's the right wing in the U.S. considered farther right in other advanced nations like Canada. Yeah, because there is no right there. Everything's so far left in Canada. You can't compare Canada, man. I'm sorry. Like Canada is. Tell me, you're a Canadian.
No, you can. You can.
Where's the right? It's in like Saskatchewan,
Alberta, Calgary.
There's no
the
right
breadbasket.
in Vancouver. There's no right in the population centers. Is my point.
Well, Quebec, there's a little bit more. It's almost 50-50.
In Quebec?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah, 100%. There's
I gotta trust you. I don't know, but
there was a big right wing candidate that was actually making a running, and he was recognized. He was
the guy. What's his name?
There's a few of them.
The dude that was in like a cornfield telling off a reporter. What was his name?
I'm not sure.
Very French name.
I know they're all French.
He was very ultra. He was right. He was far right, and he was buddies with Trump for a bit. But then like Trump isolated him. He went away.
He's from Quebec City. Yeah.
What was his name?
I forget his name.
Pierre something.
No, maybe. I forget. But I'll find out. I'll find out. But the thing is, there is, and it has to do. There's always been a little bit of conflict in Quebec because the French and the English and the separatism and all that kind of stuff. So there's been there still is a little bit of a right wing, left wing, and it stems from that. So yeah,
all right.
But most of it, I mean, you're not gonna. Toronto is very centrist. I wouldn't call Toronto ultra libertarian.
Come on.
No. Toronto's very corporate.
Yeah,
it's a very corporate place, and the people who are corporate are mainly capitalists.
I don't know. I mean,
I know.
I can't speak. I've never lived in Canada.
Montreal, very liberal.
That's your
Quebec
territory.
as a province, I would say is not as liberal as you'd think. Montreal is super liberal, and then Vancouver, obviously, extremely liberal. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
From a Canadian, and I don't know. Like I said, Canadians,
I don't know if Canadians are going to get upset because I don't think they can consider me Canadian anymore. Because
you've disavowed your Canadianness.
No, I still have a passport, but I feel like I'm much more Dominican than I am Canadian. Although I do educate myself a lot on Canadian politics.
This guy, so the other day, he goes out to. I went to Asla da Tambora when it opened at Punta Cana opening night, which was great. By like 11 o'clock, my head was like throbbing. I'm like, I gotta go home. I'm tired. The music's loud as anything can be. Time to go home. Call it 47 years old, ready to go. This guy, he went 3 nights later, right? And he's sending texts at like 3 a.m. The guy,
we got there at 11:30.
The guy's out of his freaking mind. He's more Dominican than Canadian. He's more Dominican than my wife.
Oh,
and she would admit that. She says that.
I know. She would. Well. She would. Yeah, we got there at 11:30. It's funny because I made the reservation through WhatsApp, and it says on their website like you need to be there by 9. And I right away I'm like, no, we're not going to be there at 9. We're going to be there at 11:30. And they're like, okay, cool, no problem. And so we got there. We had our table reserved for us, and my wife and I danced until close to 3 a.m. And then so
unbelievable. I don't know how much was it to go there, by the way?
Like what it cost us?
Yeah, did they cost like a
no?
ticket?
They didn't charge us a cover.
Was there like a minimum drink?
They say it on the website, but they didn't charge it.
Oh, okay.
I think it's because of the time we got there. Like if you get there at 9 and you're taking up a table, they want you to spend a certain amount. But I mean, we got in there. There wasn't a minimum spend. We had chicharrón with some casabe. We had a couple drinks, and it was like 3,000 pesos. I thought it was extremely affordable.
Yeah, right. Reasonable.
Very reasonable. I love the show that they put on. I like that they were taking requests from the crowd on the spot right away. There's a few other singers that were there that are Dominican singers that have their own careers. They got up on stage. They really interacted well with the audience. So
I think that's such a win for Punta Cana to have like something authentically Dominican in it.
Yes.
Run by authentic Dominicans.
Correct.
Right? Henry and Saide, the owners. I mean, not that there's not that here, but that's like, it's there's one thing. It's very, you know, it
feels grown up.
Built to be a tourist attraction, right?
Yeah, and it feels grown up.
It does,
in a sense. I felt like, you know, the people that were in there, they were probably all my age.
Yes.
And it felt very safe and just.
You go to Palpatio if you're.
So we went to the Palpatio the weekend before, because we do go to El Patio, and it's a totally different crowd. But we enjoy either or. I'm totally cool with that. Remember, I was a DJ back in the day, so I appreciate music.
You were an activator. What do they call it?
Animator, yes.
Activator. I like the fluffer idea. I have this image of you being like a fluffer.
So I'll give you a little story. This one. So I'd watched my boss who had done a skit on stage.
Timeline.
It was 1999. I was 16. And so I had seen my boss do this skit since I was like 6 years old. He was the chief of animation, the director of animation for many hotels. And I'd seen him over the years. And it was between the dances on stage. So imagine you're at a resort, 500-room resort. At night, they do shows. Sometimes it'll be a participation with the guests and the audience, and sometimes it'll be just dancing. Mm-hmm. And so between the dancing, between the numbers, they do like a 30-second interval where they're getting changed. So instead of just having music and the curtains closed, he did a skit, and it was called Johnny Walker. And it wasn't done with Johnny Walker, that was the intention. So he'd come out with a full bottle of Johnny Walker in a three-piece suit, top hat, looking all, you know, like the Johnny Walker character. Sure. And so he'd come out and he'd be like, Johnny Walker, it's the best whiskey in the world, and blah, blah, blah. You only need 2 fingers to enjoy it. And he'd basically take a glass and go like this. And he's like, 2 fingers, pour it. And he's like, it's great for you. It's great for me. It's great for everybody. Salud, takes a drink and walks off stage. So 30 seconds. And then the next time he comes out, the next intermission, now he's already had a shot glass of, so the top hat is a little bit to the side and the tie is a little bit loose. And so 2 fingers goes to 2 fingers, and then 2 fingers goes to 2 fingers. This is how it evolves as the night goes on. And then 2 fingers is basically the glass full. Yeah. And so I saw him doing this skit forever. I was an introvert. I was totally afraid of being on stage. I was a DJ at the time, and I enjoyed being behind the DJ booth. And he comes up to me one day, he's like, Mark, I need you to do Johnny Walker tonight. I'm like, no way, Danny. I'm not doing that. In front of you, got to be out of your mind. And he's like, I got a meeting in Santo Domingo. I need to go. You're the only one that I trust will do this with the same passion. You've been seeing me do this for all of your years. I want you to do it. So I'm like, okay, I had to go drink up my courage.
Of course.
So I went and drank my courage in advance. I was only 16, by the way. Shh, don't tell anyone. So I had a few gin tonics at the bar before, and I tell the bartender, give me a bottle of rum. He's like, I'm like, I'm going on stage. He's like, yeah, but Danny usually just does water and Coke and just gives you the color. I'm like, yeah, but I'm not Danny. This is my first time on stage. Right. There's 800 people in the crowd. So fast forward, I start doing this skit, and the last part of the skit, the last interval, so I've gone through about 6 of these, I put on, imagine the salsa dancers that have the thing tied in your, and the big flowery or feathery sleeves. Yeah. So I put that on, and I come out with this, and my pants are rolled up, and I come out through the audience. So I don't come out on stage, and I get up on a chair, and I'm like, woo. And I obviously I drank a lot of that rum
at 16. At 16, then what was it like? Just 2 fingers.
Oh, I actually finished with 2 hands.
Yeah, but I'm saying like your voice is cracking. You barely.
No. I was living by myself at that time. I was growing up. But yeah, that was, so I have done that. Yes, that was the thing that kind of allowed me to come out of my shell afterwards, though. And after that, I was doing it on a regular basis, and I was able to then talk on stage. They gave me a microphone, and I was doing shows for 45 minutes in a few different languages. So
did you have a DJ name?
Yeah, so it's DJ Freeze.
Freeze.
So because my last name is Fraser, FR, and then Freeze because I'm from Canada, it's like it's freezing up there. It just makes sense.
DJ.
So I was DJ Freeze. Yes.
From which part of DR is the Dominican guy? Says Ronnie. We covered it. It's Puerto Plata.
Puerto Plata. Yeah, right? That's where I came when I first arrived on the island.
And you would literally ride horses to school.
Correct. Yeah. So the reason why I had a horse to ride to school is when I first arrived here, my parents put me into a local regular public school. Which, nobody else spoke English. It was just my sister and I, and my two best friends that I made in the school were shoe shiners. After school, they would go and shine shoes on the Malecón of Puerto Plata. And so I told my mom, I'm like, Mom, I want to go and shine shoes with them in the afternoon after school. And I'm like, can you get me a motorcycle? I had started riding motorcycles when I was really young. So she's like, yeah, but you're not driving on a motorcycle into town. And I said, well, why don't you just give me a horse and I can go join them on the horse? And she's like, okay, that's safer. So they bought me a horse, Dinamita, and I would ride my horse to the Malecón to shine shoes with them. And then after fast forward a year or two, when they put me into an international school that was inside the community I lived in, I would ride the horse to school and tie it up to the tree while I took my classes. And then when I finish, I get on my horse and ride home.
What was the shining shoes?
Shining shoes?
You would shine shoes somewhere?
Yeah, in Puerto Plata on the Malecón. So yeah. I did that. Basically go to the Malecón, which is your boardwalk street.
Yeah.
And I'd go there and we'd walk up and down and with our little shoe shining kit and be like, tap it on the side when they're finished. So you put your foot up, you shine the shoe, and then you tap on the side, change shoes. And what I'd do at the end of the day is I'd give them the money that I made because I didn't really need it. It was just wanted to hang out with my friends.
I love it. All right. Then we have a couple of comments here from Mabel. It's funny how whenever someone speaks from his or her own experience and with knowledge, others get triggered and can't accept different opinions. True. We all do it. Well, I mean, we're all human. We get triggered on this stuff, but I do agree with that. Like, I don't like you have experiences from your life that shape your way of seeing the world and all of that. I have that as well. I'll be honest. One of the earliest memories I have of like all of this, like the topics of like right, left, and all of that was my dad saying, actually I had learned about communism because this is like Russia, Russia, US. And it was like, I was like, I don't know, like 8 or 10 years old. This is the 80s. Right.
Yep.
And I remember like communism, like, what is it? And my dad described, he's like, communism essentially is an economic, I mean, he didn't say it quite, but it's like, it's essentially a system where everybody gets the fair share. That's the way he described it, like to a 9 or 10-year-old. Right.
Okay.
And I was like,
easy.
I was like, what's wrong with that? And then he said, okay, well, if you and your sister both are told to do chores, my sister's had 2, and you do all of them, they do none, but I pay you all the same. I'm like, oh, that's not fair. He's like, oh, okay.
It is a very simplistic and true way of looking at it.
At that age, right? So
at that age.
For me, it was always that. It was like this. It was like, I think the idea of communism and socialism are beautiful. Mm-hmm. The concept is beautiful.
Yeah.
Right. Socialized, whatever. Some people talk about like Norway and other.
Yeah.
I love the concept.
Yeah.
However, in 99% of the cases, there's a variable that's not factored in: human ambition.
Yes.
There's varying degrees of it.
Yep.
Some want to do less, some want to do more. And if you're not rewarded for doing more or punished for, not punished, but like, I guess punished for doing less, it's live, right? The words aren't easy. Like you can't, edit punished out. You put this word instead, but you get my point.
I get what
not
you mean.
Punished like you are bad, but like if you don't suffer a consequence for doing less, that doesn't work in most societies.
At some point, somebody is going to say, hey, I'm doing my fair share. When are you going to do yours? Or they'll get upset about it.
It doesn't mean that socialized programs are bad. I think you need some level of socialized program. But I'll be honest, in the 2008 crash, when it happened, I was in the moment advocating like the bank should fail. And people were like, do you have any idea what would happen? Like, I fully aware of what would happen. But the idea of bailing them out and the idea of putting money into this, like, bad, wrong. Like I was a staunch advocate for a pure capitalist play. Look, small banks will rise. There will be a superpower. The US is it now. It was Britain before that. It was whatever before that, right? Like there will be a superpower. It'll happen, right? Like, so who will it be? Will it be, Ohio National Bank becomes the new Bank of America? Like that was my view of it, even though I know it would cause a lot of pain. A lot of pain. But we're dealing with it still, the pain to this day, 15, 17 years later. So anyway, that's what shaped my viewpoint. So on this point about like, funny, wherever somebody speaks from his or her experience and with knowledge, others get triggered. Like, that's just where my perspective comes from. Like, the idea of, if you're asking me on a spectrum of socialized to capitalist, I'm going to go toward capitalist. I think you need social programs to protect the weak and vulnerable.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
You don't have that much here in Dominican Republic, right?
No, we don't.
You don't have much here.
We don't.
Like, even what's the program for kids? The nanny, Konani?
Konani. No.
Right?
No.
I mean, I know
we still need to do better.
Yes.
Here, especially for the elder.
100%.
That's one of the big things. Now, obviously, the lack of programs makes families stronger and makes families stick together longer. Like, because we don't have good elderly homes, you do not put your family in an elderly home.
No, they're in your home.
They're in your home.
You think that's why, or is it cultural?
No. That's a thing. If we would have had great housing and programs and stuff like that, there could be a pathway where, even culturally, where you want your parent to stay with you, they might have said, you know what, I don't want to be a burden.
Right.
I want to go to this where I'm going to be around people who are my age and I'm going to enjoy that. So I think the lack of is also part of the effect, but I like that effect. Like, when my wife and I first met, and she's like, you understand that when we're married and, it's my mom's coming to live with us at some point in our lives.
Yep.
And my mother-in-law is an angel. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. Totally get it. So the thing is, the lack of creates some things. So however, I'm very Canadian, where I think social programs are important. I do think that some of them, the lack of, creates stronger families. They create, my wife's family has a saying, and it's where donde hay unión, no hay necesidad. Where there's union, there's no need. So as a family, they take care of business together. If one person's struggling, we'll come and help out.
Sure.
And they would do that with paying for school, paying for clothes, and
that's where I think socialism works. In my family,
yeah,
socialism.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to pick up where my kids are deficient,
yeah,
and, we expect the same on the other end of it, right? Like, completely agree with that.
Yeah.
But systems and foundations of it, I just don't think it works. By the way, Elvin says, happy Hanukkah to me. I think people think I'm Jewish. Do I look Jewish? A little bit.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, you could pass.
Catholic, grew up Catholic.
Yeah.
German, Italian is my heritage. So, but thank you. I appreciate the happy Hanukkah. Hello from Gatineau, Quebec.
Gatineau. So Gatineau is in Quebec.
Hey.
It's across the river from Ottawa.
Apparently, back to me for a second. You got to know that it's got to know.
Get to know.
See what I just did?
That's called. You got to know. You got to know.
Eric got it. He loved it. He loved it. My kids would be like, Dad, stop with the dad jokes. Stop with the dad jokes.
You got to know. So yeah, Gatineau is the other side of the river of Ottawa. And so yeah, people live out there, and a lot of the people who live in Gatineau work for the Canadian government.
I love it.
It's funny though, because they're in Quebec. So they'll live in Quebec, work for the Canadian government on a federal level, but they have to go back to Quebec and pay Quebec taxes and stuff. So it
makes sense.
Yeah,
it's a whole other thing up there. DR is not sufficient institutional or political clout to make any foreign policy independent of U.S. That's a reality. DR government must toe the line drawn by Washington.
Whoa, wow.
Must is a strong word, but the DR is not a how do I put it? You don't have all resources you need independent. You are going to rely on oil from other places. You are going to rely on other places,
which we could get from other places.
True.
You don't necessarily need them from the United States.
Correct.
The relationship with Spain, the first tourists coming to this country were not from the United States.
No.
They were coming from Germany. They were coming from Italy. They were coming from Spain. They were coming from Canada long before Americans started coming here as a tourism destination.
Agreed. I think that DR is going to serve a master, is my point. I would say, like, DR is going to have to be a partner to somebody.
Oh, it is going to have to be a partner of
China,
somebody. It doesn't matter who,
Russia, US.
But that's what makes the world strong, is partnerships.
But the US is by far, in my opinion,
the biggest influence.
Well, one, partner. And two, the best possible partner if they align, as long as they're aligning politically and they're aligning what's the word? Ethically. Financially as well, right?
Yeah.
Then the US, because of just sheer proximity,
is
the best partner. But to your point, right? I don't think it's necessarily they must toe the lines drawn by Washington, but they're going to have to toe the lines drawn by somebody. Don't you think? Or do you think DR can just, you got a different opinion? I want to hear it.
But I don't think the Dominican, just by nature, would ever do that and just be like, I'm my own, person. Don't get involved, because that's not Dominican nature.
They also don't just do what Washington says. Here's an example. This is a real example.
Yeah.
In 2022, Summit of the Americas, which is going to be here now this year sometime, it sounds like. But 2022 Summit of the Americas, there was an agreement championed by the Biden administration. It wasn't like a law, but it was like let's just sign an agreement around more of like an open border type policy for asylum seekers and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I think it was only one country that didn't sign it, despite pressure. There was pressure from the Biden administration. There's only one country that didn't sign it.
This one.
Dominican Republic was the one that didn't sign it. Because they're like, look, we got a problem at our border. Like, we can't agree to just like, hey, if asylum seekers are looking to come, we all agree we'll take them and da-da-da-da. And then the U.S., to me, that was to their detriment, because everyone went to the U.S. It wasn't like, oh, I'm in Chile, I'm going to go to Paraguay. No, you went to the U.S.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So it was whatever. But the DR did not fall in line.
No, and I don't think it will ever agree to something that's not good for the country and for the people that are living in the country. I think there will be pushback at some times. Right now, it seems to be aligning with the things that are drug trafficking, that kind of stuff. And that's good for everybody. And that's why I think the country is getting involved. But if there was something else that wasn't to the benefit of the Dominican Republic or the Dominican people, I don't think they would.
This rage, you made a comment that I think struck a nerve. Can we go wide on the angle?
What did I do?
See his reaction. I got 3 comments in a row on this.
Holy Jesus.
Oy, here we go.
Oh, wow.
Payroll Y E Matos says, I do not like raisins either in pasteles or pastelitos. The next person, Crypto, raisins and pasteleos are repugnant. And then Mabel, our friend.
Yes.
I love raisins.
Oh, geez.
You started something here.
It's, because we can get on it. I mean, there's topics that will still all become friends at the end of the day, but there's some things it's like, you can get into rums, you can get into beers, you can get into food, you can get into beaches. We all have our own opinions, and they'll all be controversial. There's some people that, where you come from determines, where the best pastel en hojas are. If you're from San Pedro de Macorís or in the vicinity, you do not talk about pastel en hoja anywhere else in the country.
Well, not only that, but like empanadas have different names depending on where you're from. Like, I'm told I'm wrong, and my wife's like, that's Santo Domingo people. Like, they call it this. People in Higüey call it something a little different.
It's because an empanada and a pastelito and a cativilla is different.
Well, yes.
So they all have different ingredients and different shapes. So an empanada is going to be a star moon shaped. It's going to be like a half moon. What do you call it? Like a half moon shape, right? And it's going to have a thicker flour. And so you put the meat inside, you flip it over, and you use the fork, and you join the edges. And it's going to be usually a little bit bigger in size and a little bit thicker flour. So that's going to be an empanada. A pastelito is going to be round, similar, but much thinner, and it's crispier. And you pass the pastel, you coat it in vinegar.
Smaller.
Yeah, you cover it in vinegar and then fry it, and it becomes bubbly and crispy. And empanadas are crispy but not bubbly. Right? The flour is not bubbly. And then you have a cativilla, which is going to be made with yuca.
Yuca. That I know. The rest of it.
So I am a big foodie, and I do. Yeah.
We got Juan Eusebio. This is the same Juan Eusebio as I met in Boston. You're a fantastic promoter for the Dominican Republic. If you picked up some Dominican Spanish, you'd be on top. Who says I didn't want? Picked up some.
Oh, he's picked up plenty of good Dominican Spanish.
It's like, I understand my oldest son a little bit. And like he like my mother-in-law's here and she's speaking Spanish.
Yeah.
He's responding. Like, I mean, boom, no problem.
Yeah.
But he's speaking back in English. So I think for him being a little older, learning Spanish, he's a little bit like what's the word? Not sensitive, but aware. There's a word of his accent.
Cognizant?
Cognizant. No, there's another word. Insecure.
Okay.
Insecure about maybe how he sounds in Spanish when he's speaking like to my mother-in-law. If he's speaking to his friends,
he doesn't really care.
No, he just like with Marco, he'll just they'll just go.
Yeah.
But for me, it's a little bit of the same. Like I remember sitting in with Joseph Ache.
Yeah.
He showed me the whole thing with the Point. And the developers from The Point, which is in City Place, were there, like his team. And the one guy was speaking Spanish and Joseph's translating. And then he forgot to start translating. And he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm like, no, I got it.
You got it. Yeah.
He's like, you got it? I'm like, yeah. Well, first off, this guy spoke a nice pace.
Yes.
It wasn't like, hey. That's where I lose Dominican Spanish altogether. It's like in Billy Madison, slow down, right?
Yeah, and you have all the clouds.
Happy Gilmore, whatever, right?
Yep, yeah. I'm with you there.
But I do have some. But Juan, either way, if this is the one, so I went to Boston last January for my wife's 40th birthday. It was like a last minute trip.
Okay.
We pulled up to the W Hotel in Boston because we dumped the kids with my sister-in-law. My wife and I were going to go do Boston for the night.
Nice.
And the dude at the window was so jarring to me. He was like, "Are you Jamie from Punta Cana?" I'm like, "Holy no way." He's like, yeah, no, I follow you. It's amazing. And then the dude just went to the nines, man. Sent up this is Dominicans, right? He sent up a what do you call it? Charcuterie board to the room because it was her birthday. Comped our valet, which is not cheap in Boston.
No,
right?
it's got to be a couple $20
Amazing
$20.
guy.
Yeah.
He came down. He stayed
Very
at the Westin.
cool.
I sent him over a whole thing of chicharron from Tera's Kitchen. So
very cool.
If that's the one that I love, I'll see you when you come back.
Hola,
down,
Juan.
buddy.
We'll be waiting for you.
What else do we got? Raisins belong all alone by itself. You have really created a problem here with raisins. And we got to go in a few minutes anyway. Let me see if there's anything else we want to talk about. Hello to both of you. This is from Rafael. Let's see what he has to say.
Hola, Rafael.
Thanks for representing us, the Dominican living in the diaspora. I have a 5-year-old, and I want to know where is the best place school to raise my daughter.
Wow.
What's your thoughts on that?
So I actually had to consider this when moving here 2.5 years ago.
Same
So my kids were born here. My eldest had already gone to school here, had gone to a Montessori when it first opened. Teacher Francesca, who opened it, she's still involved.
Montessori here? Villa Montessori?
Yeah.
Oh,
so the Montessori here, which was created 17 years ago.
Oh, I didn't know that.
15 years ago.
Wow.
15 years ago. So yeah, so my daughter started when she was 2. And so when we decided to move back, we had to look at the different places. So we looked at Samana or Las Terrenas. Schooling was not sufficient for us there. There's options, but nothing that I felt was going to help my kids in the future. In the immediacy of me deciding, I want to live in a beach town again. Yes, but not for my kids' future. We looked at Puerto Plata. Puerto Plata has the ONM, Ostos OIM, which is a very good school.
Yep.
All the Burnigas, the Brugals, all the families with that have education and wealth send their kids to that school. There's the one in Sosua as well, the international school of Sosua. We looked at that. It just didn't tick all the boxes. We looked in Jarabacoa. Jarabacoa didn't when we started considering. They do now. But again, small, right? Not necessarily what I was going to need. Jarabacoa is a place I love to go and just relax and get away.
My favorite.
But not necessarily what
this year.
Yeah.
Crazy. Sorry.
Right? So I wouldn't want to be there necessarily for my kids to grow up there because the change coming from Canada, no uniforms, very liberal way of learning in Canada. To bring them here and then go into a very, I would say, a very Catholic school or, the total opposite would have thrown the whole move off. So I needed to find a place where the change was significant because we're all moving back, but it wasn't out of this world different where they were going to feel alienated from the get-go. Because we even looked at a school in La Romana. And a buddy of mine is a teacher at a school in
Abraham Lincoln
No, St. John's.
St. John's. Got it.
Very, very good school. The kids actually go to NASA at that school.
Oh, no kidding.
They are extremely, extremely good students, and they're very well classed amongst the schools in the country. But it's a very traditional school. So long skirts for the girls with the knee-high socks and although I wanted the school, that was too much for my kids to change. So, and then we looked in Santo Domingo. Santo Domingo is very expensive, and the traffic to go to and from just would have been spending too many hours in traffic. And for me, who works in tourism, wasn't necessarily the best place to go. I love Santo Domingo. I go anytime we have a chance. So that's why Punta Cana, we decided on Punta Cana. And then when we looked inside Punta Cana, there's a few things that we looked at because we didn't immediately decide on Punta Cana International. I knew of the school as soon as when it opened. Some of my friends' kids were some of the first students at Punta Cana International. And that was on the top of my list, but I wanted to give a chance to the others and look at what they had. So we looked at Bavaro Bilingual. We looked at Bavaro Innovation. We looked at Heritage. And I might be missing one more, I think, or at the time, those were the 4.
Máximo Potencial?
Máximo Potencial, yeah. So we looked at those, and Punta Cana International just came out above on top. Yeah. It was everything, tick the boxes, the right atmosphere and everything. So we ended up deciding on them. Now, my daughter, the eldest, she didn't get into Máximo Potencial. They started late in the year when we got here, so we didn't get in on time, and there's some qualifications she needed to get in. And so she ended up going to Máximo Potencial. 2 of them were at Punta Cana International. The other was Máximo Potencial. Máximo Potencial was actually a great transition
Oh yeah.
for my eldest. It gave her time to learn at her level, kind of like Montessori philosophy, and be able to transition into Punta Cana, where the workload when it came to homework and all that stuff is a lot,
Yeah.
right? So it was a great transition. So we ended up going with those two and could not be happier.
I would say PCIS is a good school. All the ones you mentioned, all good. 5 years old, I think Maximo Potencial is a contender.
Yep.
They have a very good like pre-K
I agree
program,
with that.
right?
Yep.
And I think Ikigai should be in the conversation as well for that age. That
Yeah.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old. Ikigai's a really, really
It's
good
the
option.
developmental stages,
Correct.
right? Where you're learning how to find yourself, you learn different skills. When they get older, obviously that it's a different ballgame. But at 5, and the other thing is you want convenience.
Yeah.
School is important. At 5 years old, they're not doing brain surgeries. They're not there yet. So find convenience.
Yep.
You do not want to have to be driving
That's so
45 minutes to go to school. Like at that age, until they're about, I want to say 8, 9, go with what's convenient.
100%.
Because
if you live in the village, go to PCIS, go to Maximo.
if you're in Bávaro, go to another one.
Right.
Like,
Yep.
find what's convenient to you, because at the end of the day, they're going to be learning interpersonal skills. They're going to be learning how to write and read, and they'll get all that no matter where they go. But it's going to be just convenient for you, because you want your stress level to be as low as possible, so you can be the best parent you can be. If you're hyper stressed because of how far it is and you're always on the go, and maybe your job doesn't allow you to get there on time, those kind of things, it's just going to affect you as a family in general. So that's
100%.
my take on it.
No, I get it.
Yep.
By the way, it's Pierre Poilievre.
Pierre Poilievre. That's the guy we were talking about. Yes,
the one.
Pierre Poilievre.
Right.
I'm sure that's the person from Gatineau that came out with that.
No,
No?
maybe. I don't know. It's a good
Is that-
question. But this is funny to me. Jamie, at least you acknowledge Canada and it fit into your view. It is at least within your frame. Why are you laughing? Wait, go back to the wide shot.
Finish.
Acknowledge Canada and it fits into your view, but we should listen to Canadians and other nations to understand their politics. Why are you laughing?
I'm laughing because you always say Canada. What Canada? What does Canada have to do with anything? You always,
I even say this, like with the conversion.
yes,
with the conversion,
Canada's worth nothing.
Well, no, but with the conversion, Canadian people are about 80% as smart as the Americans, right? Isn't that the mathematical conversion?
Oh man. Yes, if you use the financial conversion to the US dollar, but
Raph saw through it all. He could see the true, like that. I see you, Canada. I see you. I acknowledge you up to the
I
north.
find this hilarious. I love it.
51st state. All that.
Whoa. That's
I saw something about. Wait a minute. Hold on. There was something else real quick, because I know we got to get going here in a minute.
I love these. I love these. I love the questions in the comments. What else you got on there?
Hold on. There was something about Sylvia that compared you and her a moment ago, and I want to find that.
Oh wow,
Where
that's
did
going to
it
be
go?
interesting.
It will be.
Wow.
Let's see. Come on. Where was it?
How do you get to comparing me and Sylvia?
It said no
'Cause
offense.
Because you said I probably am more Dominican than she is, and somebody got rattled by that.
They said she's much easier on the eyes.
Oh, I agree.
And that the reason I was going to pull that up, it was funny to me, because this is like an ongoing thing for the 16 years we've been together. Is my wife doesn't she doesn't photo the best. She doesn't photo bad.
Yeah, I
Like,
get
she
what you mean.
photos like, okay, she's an attractive woman or whatever. And I've always said, and people like, we've heard this like, wow, in person, it's like
It's
she's very
different.
striking.
Yes. Yeah.
So somebody the other day she'd never met before, but saw her on video, was like, it was so like perfectly to the point and like blunt but beautiful. It was like, wow, I see your video, but like you're way prettier in person. It was like, she's like, what do you say? He's like, no, I mean, like you're pretty on
Yes.
video, but like, in person.
I get what you mean.
It was hilarious. So,
Yeah.
oh, here it is. With all due respect, Mark, Jamie, your wife is much easier on the eyes. No offense.
No, none taken.
Nor should there be any taken.
None taken.
If there's something Mark's never been accused of, it's being easy on the eyes. First of all,
I was waiting to hear.
First
What was
of
that?
all, he's Canadian. So like, what's there's nothing easy on the eyes about a
Jesus.
Canadian,
Yes.
right? And then second, I mean, Eric, I mean,
Yeah,
look at that.
I know. What can
Look
I say?
at that. The
My
eye.
wife will say otherwise, but she loves me.
Same. My wife would say it as lovingly as well. And I think, he said it's a joke here, Richard.
Yeah,
He's only kidding.
Oh, I was really offended, Richard. No, I'm kidding. You know what? I'm the first one to crack jokes. So
Maximo Potencial is in what town? It's in Punta Cana.
it's in Punta Cana.
Specifically right now in the village, but building a campus in City Place. So it'll be, somewhere.
Still convenient.
Yes, either way.
Convenient to get to.
Yep.
So with the highway and all that stuff, it's convenient no matter where you decide to live.
The last question is which one in Santo Domingo would you recommend, if any? I like Ashton because I know of it here. Ashton's a good school, but
it's because there's a few. I mean, it's going to depend on your budget.
Carol Morgan.
It, like I said, it's going to depend on your
Carol
budget.
Morgan's about what, 40,000 a kid a year, US?
No, it's about 24, I think it is.
1,000 per kid.
Yes,
per year.
That's why you got the 40 because you have two.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's about 24 a year. There's St. Michael's, there's St. George, New Horizons. That's one that I was looking at. A friend of mine, she graduated from New Horizons, and to me, it was one of the contenders. It's really going to depend on your budget. I would say amongst those, doesn't really matter. Just choose on your budget and where you live. The other thing is if they speak Spanish, Calasanz, is it Calasanz? I got to get you the name. We'll add it to the comments after. But there's a school, I believe it's Calasanz. No, El Babeque. El Babeque. El Babeque, to me, has the strongest alumni that exists. I mean, the parents are involved. The kids, the kids of the kids go, and you need to be a parent to get your kid into that school. They are tight knit, and they do really good at the kids. In close to the Zona Colonial, they're in Gascoy.
Nice.
So they're just behind the hotels there, the Jaragua, the Sheraton. El Babeque. They have a really, really good school, and the community. That's the thing to me. It's also about the community. I don't want my kid to go to school and just he has friends or she has friends and that's it, right? Yeah. It's the community around it. So when the kids come home from school, they you need to meet their parents because I like that kid.
It's where all the birthday parties happen.
Correct. And then
so many damn birthday parties.
Yeah. Yeah. So to me, that's the important thing. So get the community involved.
Let's get you out of here. But if somebody wanted to patronize your golf services, do you have an email address, website?
Sure.
Like, where do you want to direct people?
Yeah. I mean, you can follow me on Instagram if you want.
What's your Instagram?
No, let's go with Punta Cana Golfer. Yeah, that's the one.
Punta Cana Golfer.
Punta Cana Golfer. Because I have a personal one that my kids have asked me to use just for the family stuff. So it's closed. Because I used to do like all the posts and all that. And my daughter, when we first moved here, she's like, Dad, everybody knows me at school already. What do you mean? She's like, they follow you on Instagram, so they know of me. And I was like, okay, so what are you going to do? She's like, you're going to close that down. I'm like, okay, let's just start one on the side, pivot, and I'll do my work stuff on Punta Cana Golfer.
So at Punta Cana Golfer, follow Mark if you want to get involved with golf in Punta Cana, Corrales, any of that.
Yeah,
he's your guy to depending. Go to Punta Cana Golfer and he can explain where he gets involved.
Send me a message. I'll help you out. Yep. If it's at our course, more than happy to set you up and get you there. If it's you want to know about other courses, I used to work with all the golf courses.
You do the whole packages too, right?
Yeah, like so we do stay and play.
Stay and play.
So at the Westin, at Tortuga Bay, happy to set you up and do that. Or it's a really top quality, top premium type of product. If you are coming on and you want to do something else, let me know. I'll still help you out with anything you need. I'm happy to be a source of information.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Jeffers Studios, everybody. Come on by at Jeffers Studios on Instagram. Check it out for video, for photo, for podcast studio. You can use this one right here. Rent it from Eric and we'll get going. Eric, you ready to rent the place? What do you mean not yet? I just promoted to rent it. He's such a perfectionist.
He wants to do
I dotted and T crossed. I'm just like, rent the place, buddy. Let's go.
There's lights, there's cameras, there's microphones, there's everything you need.
Everything you need is
there.
Here.
You go.
So we'll go wide one more time if you don't mind, Eric, so we can just end it on that. Mark, appreciate you coming in, buddy.
Hey, man, it was fun.
All right, next week live will be me from Las Terrenas. I'll see you all there. We'll figure out what the topic's going to be. We'll have you back, though.
Hey, whenever you want.
All right.
Whenever you want.
Beautiful. I'll see y'all. Have a great day.
Have a good one.